transition. Clark's 8th assist. Clark from the logo and knocks it down.
Despite Caitlyn's star power, she's always operated as a team-first athlete. Teammates consistently mention how she praises their efforts, whether it's the role players knocking down open shots or the bench mob celebrating pivotal moments. Clark's fans have likewise grown to appreciate not just her individual brilliance, but also the camaraderie she fosters in the locker room. Yet ironically, it's that same team dynamic that's at the center of this swirling rumor. According to an online discussion started on a prominent Reddit forum, the rumor claims that an ardent WNBA fan, someone apparently obsessed with Caitlyn's style of play, has found themselves in a surprising relationship with an Iowa player. The rumor offers a bizarre love triangle twist. Caitlyn Clark is already romantically tied to Connor McCaffrey, a former Iowa men's basketball player and current assistant coach.
Star basketball player Caitlyn Clark has been enjoying a well-deserved vacation in Mexico, alongside her boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, and some of her teammates from the Indiana Fever.
But it's her teammate whose love life is taking the social media spotlight.
Yeah, I'm super excited for him. Obviously, his basketball knowledge is pretty good, and it makes it fun. Like, you can bounce ideas off of each other. So,
Originally reported in fragments by Outkick, Sports Illustrated, and People, Caitlyn herself hasn't said anything about these rumors. She's typically discreet about personal matters, having only once publicly confirmed her own relationship with McCaffrey. She focuses her interviews on her love of basketball or her pregame routines, rarely addressing the rumor mill. But fans are reading between the lines, pointing to the possibility that Caitlyn might be aware of the rumored romance, and either endorsing it behind the scenes or steering clear entirely to avoid team drama. She might be maintaining her usual hush-hush approach because any official comment could fan the flames. What's especially grabbing everyone's attention is the alleged identity of this so-called biggest WNBA fan. Some say they recognize this superfan from Iowa's arena stands, wearing custom gear that combined professional women's basketball logos with personal tributes to Clark. Tweets allegedly show this individual's near-endless praise for Caitlyn's breakout performances, particularly her iconic 41-point triple-double that catapulted Iowa to a Final Four appearance. Observers noticed the superfan also praising other players, albeit in passing, but zeroing in on Clark's unstoppable brilliance. That's why talk of them hooking up with a different Iowa player caught people off guard. One theory contends that the superfan initially came for Caitlyn, but ended up bonding with this unnamed teammate because they kept bumping into each other at local hangouts or university events. Another theory claims the superfan always had a connection with said teammate, and Caitlyn was a red herring in the story. Fans are sleuthing through months of Instagram posts, trying to match glimpses of an Iowa uniform in the background of romantic dinners, or deciphering cryptic hashtags. The rumor's epicenter remains a swirl of speculation, no more. Caitlyn has her own well-documented love story with Connor McCaffrey. Verified by Sporting News and U.S. Magazine, Caitlyn and Connor share a mutual devotion to Iowa basketball. He was a key figure on the men's team, known for leadership and on-court intelligence.
Yeah, I think just super proud. He worked super hard for that, and it'll be fun to go to those games. I mean, I love college basketball. Obviously, he's been around it his whole life and really invested a lot into it. So I think it'll be fun. Give me something to do all throughout the off season as well. Somebody to root for. But it's definitely still go Hawks.
Their coupling made local headlines when fans saw them side by side in public, once at a local diner near the Iowa campus, fueling guesses they'd been together for a while. That news overshadowed any talk of Caitlyn's alleged superfan, leaving many to think that if the superfan existed, they had no shot. This new rumor suggests the superfan pivoted to a different Hawkeye altogether. Interestingly, Women's Health once published an article exploring Caitlyn's single-minded approach to training, describing how her routine includes early morning shooting drills, strength sessions, and a diet plan focusing on recovery. That dedication wouldn't leave her much time to worry about who her fans date. However, a close friend speaking anonymously to Sporting News indicated that Caitlyn is actually super protective of her teammates. And if this rumor is legit, she might be playing matchmaker behind the scenes. The friend hinted that Caitlyn loves positivity around the team and might even celebrate the new romance if it boosts morale. Nevertheless, a separate faction of fans on Twitter believes the rumor is either fabricated or overblown. They suspect it might be a comedic creation from bored fans looking to stir the pot. Some note the rumor's suspicious origins, a single post on a Reddit thread referencing an inside source with minimal evidence. Others highlight the complexity. How often does an ordinary superfan break into the social circle of top-tier college athletes? But in an era when social media can catapult everyday people into viral sensations, it might be less far-fetched than it seems. One real-life angle fueling the story is how tight-knit the Iowa women's basketball team is. According to behind-the-scenes glimpses, they frequently do group outings, like going to the mall, hitting local restaurants, or even cameo appearances at each other's family gatherings.
Honestly, it took me longer than I think most people realized. My mom and my dad were both kind of pushing me to come back to school a lot earlier than I think, I was ready to make that decision. But
if a superfan gained entry to that circle, it would likely be through repeated, genuine interactions, not just random game day meetups. Perhaps they volunteered at a basketball camp or helped coordinate charity events. Fans found references on social media to a superfan volunteering at an Iowa kids clinic, leading some to suspect that's where the personal connection blossomed. This detail might align with how they ended up forging a bond strong enough to result in a rumored romance. As for the Iowa coaching staff, they have a no-nonsense approach to media speculation. Head coach Lisa Bluter told the Des Moines Register that her squad focuses on basketball, period. She emphasized that their players, including Caitlyn, are professionals about media hype, so it's unlikely anyone from the official staff will address or even acknowledge the rumor. They might consider it background noise unless it disrupts team chemistry. The players likely share that approach. Keep your heads down, handle personal life with minimal drama, and maintain synergy on the court. So if the rumor is real, they're likely keeping it in-house. The comedic possibilities are endless, though. Imagine a superfan who once wore a half Iowa, half WNBA jersey with Caitlyn's face embroidered on the back, now switching to rep a different player's name. People are joking on TikTok about potential conflict if the superfan can't decide whose jersey to sport. A user wrote, "One day, she's Caitlyn's biggest cheerleader. Next day, she's claiming to be her teammate's #1 fan. That's messy." Another posted a video montage with a comedic tagline, "When your idol becomes your friend's third wheel." The clip ended with the question, Caitlyn or her teammate, who's the real MVP? Interestingly, some WNBA players themselves have commented on how Clark's popularity is bridging generational and location gaps in women's basketball. A post from Lipstick Alley mentions a top WNBA star joking, "If fans are so enthralled that they're dating her teammates, we're all for it. Anything that fosters more hype around the game is good." She added a laughing emoji to make it clear she found the rumor entertaining more than anything else. This underscores a broader point. Caitlyn Clark mania is fueling attention for women's hoops, overshadowing major developments like record-high attendance at WNBA games. That mania even spills into personal gossip. One has to wonder about Caitlyn's rumored boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, in all this. By all accounts, he's unwaveringly supportive. Known for his own success at Iowa, Connor's social media timeline references congratulating Caitlyn on big victories. If the rumor is true, maybe he's quietly amused or slightly baffled by all the fuss. He's used to the spotlight. His father is head coach Fran McCaffrey, after all, so he likely grasps how easily the rumor mill spins. There's no direct comment from him about a superfan hooking up with a teammate. Perhaps he's content letting it remain an unverified comedic side story. Another real-life anecdote fueling speculation is the superfan's rumored interactions with Caitlyn on Twitter. Screenshots circulated show replies from an account praising everything Caitlyn does. "You're the reason I believe in women's basketball," read one tweet from months ago. "Your range is insane, your court vision unmatched. If only the entire team had your flair." Some fans retweeted that with jabs like, "Well, that aged awkwardly if they're dating another Hawkeye." The superfan's account later seemed to have gone private, stoking further curiosity that they might be hiding the new relationship. But none of that is confirmed. The rumor remains intangible, yet persistent. One can't ignore the human element. If this rumor is real, think about the emotions involved. A superfan who hero-worshipped Caitlyn might have to negotiate a new dynamic. The teammate, overshadowed in the press by Caitlyn's star power, might appreciate the extra personal attention from said superfan. Meanwhile, Caitlyn stands between them as an unwitting symbol of desire or popularity. The comedic potential is huge, but so is the potential for team friction if boundaries are not managed carefully. However, multiple players from Iowa have posted group photos looking tight-knit as ever, giving no sign of friction. Some might interpret that as a deliberate show of unity amidst swirling rumors. Adding another layer of real-life context, Caitlyn's name has frequently appeared in WNBA mock drafts. She's expected to join the pro ranks once she's done at Iowa, possibly next year or the following. If that happens, Iowa's synergy might be in transition.
Obviously, Aaliyah Boston being on the team, she was one of my former teammates on Team USA. I think I've just been stoked, and people have been excited even before I got drafted about this opportunity. So,
the rumored superfan hooking up with an Iowa player might become just another comedic footnote in the bigger story of how Iowa copes with losing Clark. Or maybe it'll remain a snippet in the timeline of Caitlyn mania, overshadowed by the even bigger headline that she's turning pro. Either way, the rumor is a fascinating slice of how stardom can spawn bizarre scenarios. Given the dearth of official statements, one of the only ways to see if the rumor is credible is to watch the upcoming season. If, for instance, the rumored teammate quietly reveals a partner on social media, or it's obvious from public outings, then the rumor is validated. Alternatively, if no evidence surfaces, it might fade away. Observers are also scouring team warm-ups for glimpses of the superfan. Some fans claim to have recognized them near the player's bench, but so far, no conclusive photo or video has emerged. Meanwhile, Caitlyn's fan club keeps growing, overshadowing everything else. Those close to the program say the hype swirling around Caitlyn has drastically changed the environment. The university has put in stricter guidelines for media access. You can't just waltz into practice, hoping to chat about personal gossip. Players are carefully coached on how to handle rumor-based questions. The superfan rumor might have given them a prime example of what not to dwell on. It's a testament to how big Caitlyn's name has become. Even unconfirmed talk about her circle shakes up the collegiate hoops community. In the end, whether or not this rumor is accurate, it highlights the mania that surrounds Caitlyn Clark. She's a transcendent talent who draws in fans from all walks of life. Some might develop deep, even intense fandom. The notion that one of those fans could wind up dating her teammate is wacky enough to feel borderline scripted. Real or not, the rumor underlines the cultural impact of Caitlyn's meteoric rise. Everyone is invested in her story, from her on-court heroics to her off-court personal life and beyond. No matter how this story ends.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always something that we've kind of shared that bond with. I think also having to navigate when to rest my body and when to get in the gym and do extra shots, but that's definitely something we love, is coming in here shooting late at nights or having some shooting competitions. It gets a little heated. I definitely outshoot him way more than he outshoots me, but he tries to think otherwise.
Caitlyn Clark remains unstoppable on the hardwood, a generational talent poised to become one of the greatest women's basketball players ever. If her stardom indirectly ignites comedic side plots like a superfan hooking up with a teammate, so be it. That's the price of fame. Now that you've heard all the details, what's your take? Do you believe in this rumor, or is it pure fan fiction? Could a superfan with a Caitlin Clark obsession realistically pivot to dating one of her Iowa teammates? And how might that affect team chemistry as they chase championships? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories, hot takes, and behind-the-scenes scoops if you've got them. And if you thrive on these juicy, larger-than-life stories, be sure to subscribe to Celeb Titbits for more. At the rate Caitlin Clark mania keeps growing, you can bet this won't be the last we hear of her or the intriguing drama swirling around the Iowa Hawkeyes. Stay tuned for the next wave of insider info, and until then, keep the conversation going. The rumor mill stops for no one, especially when it comes to the unstoppable force that is Caitlin Clark and her electrifying circle